This is the AirDoctor AD3500, a tall, clean-looking purifier with a glossy white finish, rounded edges, and a front panel that lifts off magnetically. It stands a little over 2 feet high, about 19.87 inches wide and 12.38 inches deep, and weighs around 24 pounds, but it feels lighter than the number suggests. The side handles are deep and well placed, so moving it between rooms is easy. The design is simple on purpose. It blends into a living room or bedroom and doesn't scream for attention. Up top, the controls are laid out clearly: power, fan speed, auto mode, a timer, a light dimmer, and an optional ionizer toggle. On the front, there's a color ring that shifts from blue to orange to red to show air quality at a glance.
From my experience, the appeal of the AD3500 is that it works hard without asking me to think about it. Inside, it uses 3 layers: a washable pre-filter to catch hair and dust, a carbon/VOC filter to absorb odors and gases, and an UltraHEPA filter. If HEPA is new to you, it's a standard for trapping tiny particles like smoke and pollen. Typical HEPA focuses on 0.3 microns. UltraHEPA is rated to capture at least 99.99% of particles down to 0.003 microns, which are ultra-fine bits you can't see but can breathe. That spec got my attention, but what sold me was how it behaves in everyday life. When I cook, spray deodorant, or even run a hairdryer, the sensor reacts within seconds, bumps the fan up, and then winds back down once things clear out.
Key features that matter to me start with performance and coverage. The company rates it to circulate the air 4 times per hour in a 630 square foot room, or twice an hour in up to 1,260 square feet. That frequent circulation is what keeps air consistently clean rather than occasionally fresh. If you're new to the term CADR, it stands for Clean Air Delivery Rate, basically how fast a purifier can clean the air. The AD3500 posts strong numbers for a home unit, and that matches what I feel in use: a quick drop in smells after cooking and noticeably less dust settling on surfaces over time. The other big one is auto mode. In my opinion, this is where the AD3500 earns its keep. The air quality sensor continuously checks what's in the air and adjusts the fan without me touching a thing. I set it to auto and let it run 24/7. On normal days, I barely hear it. It's quiet on the first 2 speeds, more like a soft whoosh than a hum. When it does ramp up, it can be loud, and that's worth knowing. On its highest setting, the sound is strong and the airflow is noticeable, especially if you sit right next to it. I've measured similar units in the mid-60 decibel range at full blast, which is louder than average for purifiers. The upside is that the heavy lifting doesn't last long. When the air quality improves, it quickly settles back to a whisper. I had some doubts at the start about whether the UltraHEPA claim would make a real difference. Marketing lines can feel vague. From my experience, the best proof is how my space feels and responds. My allergies are a bit calmer indoors, and there's a meaningful cut in lingering pet and cooking odors. The carbon VOC filter here isn't a thin sheet. It uses a honeycomb structure filled with carbon beads. That design tends to trap smells and gases better, and I can tell when it's doing its job after frying anything in oil. As a note for anyone new to the term, VOCs are gases released by things like cleaning products, paints, and some furniture. If those bother you, a stronger carbon stage helps. I also want to talk about the construction choices, because they matter more than they get credit for. The filter housing is sealed well. The UltraHEPA filter has a rubber gasket that presses firmly so air can't just sneak around the filter edges. If air leaks, even great filters don't matter. Here, the seal is tight, and that's part of why it performs like it does. The magnetic front cover is another small win. Swapping filters takes less than a minute. The pre-filter catches a surprising amount of lint and hair, and a regular vacuum keeps it clear so the internal filters last longer. It's perfect for larger spaces, open layouts, or any room that sees a lot of activity. I've run it in a living room and then moved it to a bedroom at night. The dim mode is a tiny but essential detail for me. With one tap, all the lights turn off so nothing glows in the dark, and the machine just quietly keeps doing its thing. That single button makes it a better fit for sleep.
I also appreciate that it's ENERGY STAR certified because I like leaving purifiers on around the clock. I still expect a bump in energy use, but it's not a wallet shock. And the auto mode avoids running fast when it isn't needed.
There are trade-offs. The base AD3500 doesn't include Wi-Fi or an app, and I admit I wish I could check air quality history on my phone. There's an I version with connectivity, if that matters to you. Replacement filters are proprietary. That means you stick with AirDoctor's UltraHEPA and carbon VOC filters. The upside is consistent performance. The downside is cost and being tied to the brand. Filter indicator lights tell me exactly when to change each stage, which takes the guesswork out, but I plan and budget for it. Noise at max is another consideration. It's not a constant roar, but when it kicks in, you will hear it. I've noticed it most when I'm close to the unit or when it's clearing a smoky kitchen quickly. I also keep in mind what I've read from long-term owners. Build quality feels solid to me, but some folks report reliability issues just after a year and mixed experiences with support. I can't confirm those personally, but I think it's fair to factor long-term support into any purchase. If you're curious about claims regarding bacteria and viruses, the company cites third-party tests showing very high removal rates in a controlled chamber, including reductions of H1N1 and live SARS-CoV-2. I treat those as promising lab results, not a promise for real-life health outcomes. Air purifiers help reduce airborne particles. They don't replace proper ventilation or medical guidance. Using it day-to-day is simple. Setup is just unboxing and removing plastic wraps from the filters. I set the timer sometimes when I'm out, but I mostly rely on auto mode. The color ring gives me instant feedback without me needing to interpret numbers. Blue, it's clean. Orange, it's working. Red, it's hitting the gas. The optional ionizer stays off for me because the mechanical filtration is already strong, and I prefer the simplest path. Key features that stood out to me are the UltraHEPA filtration, the robust carbon/VOC stage, the sealed filter fit, the smart auto node with a sensitive sensor, the large room coverage, and the small but meaningful touches like dim mode and the magnetic panel. The dimensions and weight make sense for the airflow it moves, and the handles are surprisingly helpful when shifting it around. It's not the cheapest to maintain, and it's not whisper quiet on high, but it's effective where it counts. In my opinion, this purifier is about dependable cleaning power over flash. It doesn't come with flashy app features in the base model, and it doesn't try to be a smart home hub. It focuses on moving a lot of air through serious filters, reacting quickly when the air gets dirty, and then disappearing into the background when the job is done. I like how straightforward that is. I'd recommend this for anyone who values cleaner air in medium to large rooms, especially if you deal with cooking odors, pet dander, pollen, or seasonal smoke. It's perfect for folks who prefer set it and forget it and don't want to babysit fan speeds all day. If you're sensitive to noise, you'll want to place it a few feet away from where you sit and trust auto mode to keep it quiet most of the time. If app control is essential, look at the AD3500i instead, or be ready to run this on auto and call it good. From my experience, the AD3500 delivers a tangible difference you can see and feel. Less dust on shelves, fewer lingering smells after cooking, and a calmer baseline for allergies indoors. The strongest impression is how quickly it responds to changes and how little it asks from me. I notice it when it needs to work hard, and then I forget it's there. In conclusion, the AirDoctor AD3500 is a high-performing home purifier with a clear focus on filtration quality, ease of use, and large room coverage. It isn't the quietest at full tilt. The filters are brand-specific, and the base model skips Wi-Fi. But the core experience, clean air, quick response, and honest ease of use is excellent. If that's what you want from a purifier, this one checks the boxes that matter. I'll leave the details about the AirDoctor AD3500 in the comments for you to check out. See you in the next video.